Okay, I need to talk to you about something that's probably driving you crazy. You're doing everything right. You're buying the organic food. You're cooking at home. You're avoiding processed junk. You're eating clean. But the scale is just not budging. Your clothes still don't fit the way that you want them to. And you're starting to wonder if eating healthy is just a lie. But here's what I need you to know. You're not broken and you're not doing it wrong, but there are some sneaky calorie traps that are sabotaging your weight loss efforts. And most of them are hiding in foods that are marketed to you as healthy. So if you're frustrated because you feel like you're doing everything right, but not seeing results, grab a notebook and pen today. I really want you to take some notes. I know that sometimes we can just listen to these things and it just pass us by. But today I want you to really think about this because I see it more often than not. We're going to uncover the hidden calories that are keeping you stuck and give you a clear action plan to finally see the progress you deserve. Welcome to Strength for Generations, the go-to podcast for Christian families who want to build strength, restore energy, and deepen connection with God at the center. I'm Krista Baker, Christian health coach, wife, mom, and co-founder of Baker Family Fitness. I'm here to help you honor God with your health and bring peace back to the process, to simplify what it means to build strength in your body, renew your mind, and care for your spirit, all without losing precious time with your family. So grab your coffee and your ribeye, and let's do this His way. Okay, now before we dive in, guys, I need your help with something. I am on a mission. I want to help more Christian families build health that honors God and strengthens their families. So if this podcast has been helpful to you, I'd love it if you just take 30 seconds to either share this episode, text it to a friend, maybe they're struggling with the same frustration, post it in your mom or dad group, share it on your social media. And if you already haven't, hit the subscribe button. The reviews also help families find the show when they're searching for practical health guidance and they're looking for a Christian coach. Your support means more to me than you can imagine. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much. Okay, I'm going to tell you a little story about a friend of mine. I remember having this conversation with her. Actually, she came up to me at church and she was almost in tears. She pulled me aside and she's like, Krista, I don't understand what I'm doing wrong. Now, I get a lot of these conversations because I'm a coach. So I'll have a lot of people be like, oh, what do you think about this? Or they know that I'm in the health and fitness industry. So they'll ask me these random questions. What do you think about oregano oil and little things like that? But she was really frustrated. And she's like, Krista, I've cut out all this processed food and I shop the perimeter of the grocery store. I meal prep every Sunday. I'm drinking green smoothies for breakfast. I don't go to Starbucks anymore. I actually go to this place in town. It's like this little healthy coffee shop. She told me that she's been adding protein powder to everything because I know I need more protein. But I've actually gained weight in the last 3 months. And when she said that to me, I could hear her frustration. She was like, what is it? Literally thinking that she's just broken. And she knew she was doing a lot of the things that were right, but she also unknowingly consumed hundreds of extra calories every day. These calories are hidden in foods that she thought were helping her lose weight. So I asked her, I'm like, give me a little rundown of what your day looks like, your typical nutrition in your day. And so we realized that her healthy green smoothie that she was getting at the store was actually I think it was just over 500 calories. And then her clean coffee that she was getting was over 300, close to 400 calories. Her protein bar that she was having as a snack were 200, it was about 280, 300 calories each. So that's an extra 1,000 calories per day that she thought were just healthy choices, not really realizing what she was consuming in total. And so that was on top of, also having her meals, 2 really large meals, because she was using her smoothie as a meal and then having an actual full lunch and then having a full supper and snacking. So no wonder the scale wasn't moving. The thing is I felt a little bit frustrated for her because I know she's just doing the things that she thinks are healthy for her, but she was never actually taught properly how to manage kind of the overall target and what we should look for individually each day as per her goals. but she was also marketed to. The food industry has gotten incredibly good at marketing high-calorie foods as healthy options. So that's exactly why I wanted to do this episode for you guys today, just to help you see, because I'm starting to see it more and more every time I walk in to basically every store, even at gas stations. The marketing they're coming for you. So I want you to see through the marketing, and I want you to identify the real culprits that might be sabotaging your weight loss efforts. So let's start with the biggest trap that I see most people really falling into. You're grabbing smoothies and thinking they're a healthy meal replacement. But most smoothies, even the ones from healthy places, in air quotes, they're basically just calorie bombs. A typical green smoothie, it'll contain fruit juice. Sometimes they'll have like an add-on protein powder, nut butter, seeds, and sometimes maybe sweetened with honey or a date. Sometimes the smoothies might have different milks. So even if we look at this list, fruit, carb, fruit juice, carb, really, really lots of sugar. Protein powder would be protein. Butters would be more of a fat. Seeds would be more of a fat. And then the honey or dates would be carb. So each of them, maybe they can be a little bit healthy on their own. I beg to differ on the juice. But when you combine them all in one drink, you're looking at 400 to 600 calories. So that's really the same as eating a large meal. But your body doesn't register liquid calories the same way it does with solid food. So when we drink our 500 calorie smoothie, most of the time we still feel hungry. Most of the time it's because we haven't gotten enough protein, but most of the time it's because we still feel hungry because we've just drank those calories instead of eaten the calories. There's a whole process that happens when we chew food and we get our body to start digesting that food slowly through the whole digestive system, that it really turns off these signals in our brain that, hey, I've had enough food, but it's like through proper nutrition instead of just shoving a drink down our throat. We end up consuming more total calories throughout the day when we're drinking our calories. A lot of people don't realize like those liquid calories really add up. And I remember talking to a friend of mine when I was in working in the gyms, and she was a bodybuilder, and she's like, I eat my calories. I don't drink my calories ever. So here's what's really happening in your body. When you eat that solid food, it breaks it down. Okay. And when you drink it, it bypasses all of those signals. So even though you've consumed 500 calories, your hunger hormones, they don't get the message to shut off. Now let's talk about those coffee drinks that are sabotaging your efforts. Oh my goodness. When I go to Starbucks and I see what people are ordering, and I'm not passing judgment at all because I don't know if people just really understand. I've never been able to order a really sugary drink. None of that ever made me feel good. And a lot of the times, like I stayed away from dairy because I'm lactose intolerant. So I just never really, leaned into the heavy whipping creams and all this extra stuff that people put in their drinks. Like to me, I look at that and that is a dessert. And we're starting our morning off with that. And a lot of those drinks, they are, as much as we think we're making the healthier option, they still have a lot of sugar. Even the fake sugars respond inside the body. Maybe it's not like a calorie thing, but the body starts to respond in ways that doesn't turn signals off to tell us like, hey, I've had enough food, I've had enough calories. So most of those drinks are upwards of 500 calories, guaranteed, maybe around 300. But we start adding the whipped cream and the extra shots and all these specialty milk alternatives that aren't actually milk. They're just loaded with a bunch of extra stuff in it that really damage your gut lining. Basically, you're looking at like a whole meal's worth just in that one drink. And this is not something, I'm not talking to the person that does this like once a month. I'm talking to the person that's doing this every single day. Because if you're drinking one of these at 10 a.m. as your mid-morning pick-me-up, then you have your lunch at noon because you want to eat some food because you're still hungry, even though we've consumed enough calories. And then you have an afternoon snack of your smoothie. That's an extra 900 calories just in those two things right there. And then maybe we grab a protein bar later because we're on the road, and that's another 300. And so that accumulated over the week is why we continually have weight gain, potentially, every single week. I'm going to talk to you guys about the protein bar issue that I'm seeing more and more everywhere you go. Guys, tell me about a place that you're walking into a store that doesn't have this high protein option. Like Starbucks has it now, add protein to your coffee. Everywhere you go, because a lot of people are realizing how important protein is, but the type of protein is actually the most important. So it's crucial. We know, I've talked to you guys about it millions of times. Protein is crucial for maintaining your muscle mass, supporting your metabolism, and helping you feel satisfied. But the food industry is just adding what we call synthetic protein to everything. Think about your breakfast cereal, your snack bars, your healthy cookies and ice cream. They have synthetic protein added to it. And that really matters. These synthetic proteins are made up of sources that are high in non-heme iron. And I've talked to you guys about the non-heme versus heme many, many times. Non-heme iron is the type of iron that your body does not regulate well. Remember, heme iron is from animal sources. Non-heme iron can build up in your system and cause inflammation. It causes like a cascade of storms. So when we're consuming multiple protein fortified foods throughout the day, you're getting a massive dose of synthetic protein and excess iron that your body struggles to process. And that will work against your weight loss efforts 100%. Okay? So I want you to think like the protein in that granola bar, that fortified cereal, and maybe that protein enhanced coffee drink. It's not just adding calories. It's potentially creating an iron overload situation that's sabotaging your health goals. So while that protein bar might have 20 grams of protein, it also has, an extra 280 calories, which we don't recognize. It's like, if I'm going to have the 280 calories, I may as well just eat the real Mars bar instead of the fake protein Mars bar that's just covered in a bunch of crap, which both are probably crappy anyways. But if I think about that, like I can eat 4 whole eggs, which would give me 24 grams of high quality protein, but also the added healthy fats and nutrients that my body knows what to do with. So I want you guys to really consider that while we make the decision of, do I want to continually have this processed protein product coming into my system? When you think about it from the place of weight loss efforts, your body, when it has to deal with this excess iron and inflammation from synthetic proteins, there's several things that will happen. So your metabolism will slow down as your body focuses energy on managing the inflammatory response. And your insulin sensitivity decreases, making it harder to lose weight. Your energy levels drop because your body's working overtime to process the synthetic nutrients. So you end up actually feeling tired, sluggish, and hungry for more food, even though you've consumed plenty of calories. And this is why so many people feel like they're doing everything right, but still not seeing results. I want you to understand that here's what's really happening when you rely on these processed healthy foods. Your body is designed to extract nutrition from whole, real foods. So when you eat a piece of beef, your body has to work to break down the protein, extract the vitamins and minerals, and process the nutrients. That takes energy. It sends satiety signals and provides sustained nutrition without the synthetic additives. When you eat a protein bar or drink a protein-filled fortified smoothie, you're getting some protein, but your body processes it completely differently. The natural signals are weak, and the synthetic nutrients create inflammation, and you end up consuming more for less nutritional benefit and less satisfaction. When we look at the overall picture, and we're adding in these smoothies and these drinks and the quick protein bar, the quick protein drink, even you see them in caseloads at Costco now. When we do that, we're typically adding upwards of 1,000 extra calories on top of the food that we're consuming. And I've talked to you guys before about BLTs. So your BLTs are your bites, licks, and taste. So all those little BLTs that we're taking all day, like, oh, the kids didn't finish this, so I'm going to finish that. Or I'm making supper and I'm going to have this little snack here. All of those calories really do add up over time. And then we really wonder why this healthy day didn't really work well. It's not helping me work towards my goals. So we can make some changes. You can have, 3 eggs cooked in butter for breakfast. instead, or maybe just try having black coffee instead of having all the extra stuff in your drinks, or start to minimize those calories from just that liquid place, right? Making sure that we have some afternoon snacks around. I love having beef jerky with me or meat sticks just on the go, a real apple, cut it up and have that with me. And the best thing to do is actually just track what you're doing for a couple days. That's where I typically get people to start. Let's just see what you're doing, and then we can see what we can move around. And most people, when they become aware of all of those things, they'll often say to me, that one little chocolate bar to me is not worth it because I would rather have this really big, nice meal with my family and then not go over in my calories. So I know that you are well intended. I know that you have the desire to just eat healthy. I hear this. Honestly, I hear it on repeat. I've been really eating healthy. I've been making sure I get my protein in, and I don't know what's going on, but I still feel terrible. The food industry spends billions of dollars on marketing to make you believe that their processed product are the healthy choice. So they're going to use words like natural, organic, clean, high protein, or superfood to make you think that these products are better than whole foods. But by the end of the day, a 400-calorie protein smoothie is still 400 calories that your body has to process. It doesn't care. Your body doesn't care how it's marketed to you. We kind of become fools because we like the shiny things. I know I get distracted by all those little shiny packages. Companies spend 70% of their money on food scientists to get you to want to eat the product that they are selling. Not on like marketing agencies. It's like, how do we make this food so palatable that they come back for more? And then all the descriptions that they're using to just lure you in. And I don't know if this is a nice thing to say, but like, do we want to be fools? I don't want to be a fool. I don't want to be a fool to somebody's marketing scheme. I want to be aware, and I want to know what I can do to make sure that I don't fall into the trap. So here's what we're going to do. Take some action steps today. You can write these ones down. So I want you to just start by tracking everything that you're having, what you're eating and drinking for the next 3 days. Your coffee drinks, your smoothies, protein shakes, the splash of cream in your coffee. I want you to look up the calorie content in each of them. So you're going to do a little bit of homework. I want you to just do a whole analysis of everything that you're having for the next 3 days. This step alone is going to open your eyes to where a huge chunk of your excess calories might be coming from. Action step number 2 is we're going to read the ingredient list on your healthy processed foods. So get out all your protein bars and your powders and your fortified cereals and your, specialty healthy foods in your pantry, granola. What else you got in there? I want you to look at the ingredient list. Look for terms like protein concentrate or fortified with or enhanced with. These are red flags. These are synthetic protein sources that might be contributing to your iron overload. I want you to think, could I get the same amount of protein from whole animal sources without all the synthetic additives? Action step number 3, we're going to calculate the true cost of your smoothie habit. So if you are the type of person that buys smoothies regularly, first of all, they get really expensive. I want you to actually look at the ingredients. Most companies will put their caloric intake or their macro breakdown on their menu or on their websites. So you can actually look for it there. But you might, let's say if you alter that drink, you're going to have to do some math here. So punch it into MyFitnessPal. It's free just to get a good idea of what you're having. Oftentimes these smoothies are more than fast food burger and fries. So why not just enjoy some actual food than just drinking our calories? I want you to think about if you do love smoothies. Now, I know a lot of people really resort to it or it's quick in the morning. I get it. But maybe we can look at just having a small amount of the fruit, maybe some quality protein powder from like grass-fed sources, maybe some beef isolate protein powder. Consider some of those options, without all the added fake sugars, and use some water instead of the juice. The juice is really where it gets really sneaky and catches up on a lot of people. But I mean, ideally, we want to replace the smoothie with real meal that is actually going to satisfy you. Okay, action step number 4, I want you to audit how you take your coffees. So write down exactly what you order when you get your coffee out. Think about all the different syrups, types of milk, the size, the extras, they're definitely adding a lot of extras into these drinks. So I want you to just see if that is creeping up some calories on you there. You can oftentimes, again, the websites should have the ingredient list on there, and then that can help you. Because if let's see, even we're having 300 calories on a coffee drink every weekday, that's about 1,500 calories per week. That's nearly 6,000 calories a month. So that's nearly 2 pounds worth of weight just in calories from your coffee drinks. So we can start to change how we take those drinks and teach our taste buds to be a little bit different. Step 5. I want you to plan your protein sources from whole animal foods. I know that the protein powders are convenient. However, I also know that they're damaging a lot of people and their digestive tract and the long-term health, especially with the fortification. So why don't we use that as, this is a really busy week, and then I have to use that as a tool? But if we use that every day, it's not a supplement anymore. It's taking over your meal instead. So start to plan out your whole food protein sources for each meal. Breakfast, eggs, leftover steak, bacon, salmon patties, turkey, lunch, grilled chicken thighs, tuna salad, leftover pork chops, turkey roll-ups. Dinner, maybe some salmon or ground beef, lamb chops, roasted chicken. Just really being mindful of what we're continually consuming as our protein source. And another one that I want you to consider too is a lot of people for lunch will go to Urban Cravings or those places where they make these big elaborate salads or a build your own salad bar type of thing. Oftentimes those salads, especially as you just kind of like free flow and you're a teaspoon of this here, a tablespoon of this here, and you're just like adding all this stuff in, oftentimes those salads really add up, and then we slap on a bunch of dressing. And these salads are, 12, 13, 1,400 calories. And maybe for you to lose weight, your deficit is like you need to have 1,500 calories for a day. So just your lunch, that's all you get to eat. So I want you to really think about that as we kind of move through the days. Now, there are obviously some objections that I hear when I suggest these types of changes. Hey, Krista, I don't have time to cook every morning. Well, prep your protein ahead of time. Do it on Sunday. Cook a batch of chicken thighs and bacon or steak or something that you can reheat throughout the week. Just keep it simple, guys. I think we just really complicate things. Maybe it's just grabbing some good quality deli meat, some pre-cooked salmon patties on hand. This morning I had smoked salmon that they come in like individual packages. So I just take it out and within an hour it's thawed. And I added that with some eggs and off we go. And I know that we have the kind of mindset of like, I love my smoothies. They make me feel healthy. But I want you to ask yourself, are they actually making you healthier? Or are they making you feel like you're being healthy while sabotaging your goals? Protein bars are convenient for my busy schedule. Okay. What about getting some good quality protein, like maybe beef jerky or something? It's just as convenient. I get individually packed ones, and that's what we take when we're on the run. What about I need the caffeine from my fancy coffee drinks? Okay, I didn't say you can't have caffeine, but all that extra stuff is just making it harder for you to really hit the results that you're looking for. Just remember, guys, the food industry, it's there to make us want and desire more. And we have to really keep thinking our country, if you're listening to this and you're in Canada or the US, Mexico, like we're not doing well. We're very sick, unhealthy, overweight people. And this is why. So they just want us to continue to buy their products. Of course they do. They're businesses. They want to stay in a business. But I want you to think about what this convenience is doing to your long-term wellness. What I typically see is in the first week, people will you're going to feel like you're missing out on your usual treats. That's normal. It's going to pass though. By the second week, you're going to start to notice that you're not as hungry between meals. You're like, oh, I actually feel pretty full. I don't need more. And especially by week 3, everyone always tells me, they're like, man, my taste buds have changed. I don't even want any of that stuff. That's all it takes, guys. Like just get through 3 weeks and then message me back and be like, okay, you were right. Or you were so wrong and I'm a miserable person and I'm going back to the way that I was. But regardless, it's your life. And I know that you have a lot of decisions to make when it comes to this, but just don't get duped by all the marketing. All of these healthy alternatives, they really aren't as healthy as we think they are. That's why we are getting kind of caught in this rat race of just, trying to figure it out. We're so exhausted, but we're, gaining weight despite eating healthy. And I don't want that for you anymore. I want you to feel really strong and powerful in everything that you're doing. Just think about all of the different things that are working against your weight loss goals. I want you to really thrive and live well and be whole. I know that's what the Lord wants for you. I don't want you being bamboozled by all these hidden calories anymore, guys. Like, just take a little bit of time, write out what you've got to do, and then start to become aware. Because as soon as you become aware, everything gets easier. I can promise you that. So what are your main takeaways today, guys? I'd love to hear from you. Don't get caught in that marketing trap. I'm here if you need anything. So now you have some knowledge to make those choices that are actually going to support you. I'm praying that God, continues to speak to you and really gives you that extra push to really desire to be well, because I know that's what He wants for your life. And I'm grateful that I get to be here with you today. So thank you so much for being here. Until next time, keep building strength for generations. Thanks for tuning in to Strength for Generations. If this podcast encouraged you, it would be a blessing if you took a quick minute to leave a 5-star review. It helps more families hear this message and find hope for their health and faith journey. It lights me up to know this podcast is helping you. And if you feel led to share this episode, text it to a friend, post it to your stories, or send it to someone on your heart. God might use it to encourage someone who really needs it today. And don't forget to eat steaks, lift weights, love Jesus, and keep doing it His way.